no one can hear us, so we can say whatever we want.
Unless they can, just Annabelle can.
No,
Don't be like the
mic
introvert.
covers either. There, right. We're all good now. They can hear us.
All right, we're all good
We're
on
good?
sound.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Okay, hold on.
Okay,
We're
we're
gonna
gonna
redo
do
this.
this from the top. Thank you for joining us for another live episode.
We made it. See, even the dog got it.
Here's Ryan.
We're not tech people. I don't know if you know this, but
We're
we make paddleboards
subtle.
for a living.
Yeah,
we're not tech
and we
people.
do a really amazing job of it so that you can go out and have a great time. We're gonna recap all the great Black Friday deals for you, and we're gonna get into like what this is and why we're so stoked on it. But first, Black Friday.
Black Friday. We do Black Friday all month long. The only reason to wait at 4 a.m. In line, because we always thought it was silly. We do Black Friday all month. BFCM 35. That's the deal you want to hit up. Probably 35% on all boards that are in stock, so
Not
not
this
pre-orders. And we also have the fleet, which is an amazing value. You get the dock, you get any boards of your choice at the Black Friday price. And then we throw out a whole bunch of extra goodies, kayak seats, kayak paddles, electric pump, stuff like that.
All the
Free.
stuff that we use every day in the summer so that you can get out and have an amazing day on the water
That's right.
with all the good stuff.
That's right. And that's $31.99 Canadian. Works out to about $2,500 American.
It's called The Fleet.
So
Get your Admiral Captain's hat.
a little bit about how our broadcasts work. If you've never joined us before, if you're watching on mobile, just down below in your screen, you'll see a little shopping cart. Those are the products that we're featuring in this broadcast. We have to switch a little bit between our Black Friday stuff and our pre-order, which we're going to talk about in a minute. So if you are interested in something that's not the pre-order, head to our website, seagull.ca, seagull.com here in the States, and you can use the code there, BFCM35. You can check out the fleet there. That's the way to do it. If you're on a desktop, you'll see like on your left-hand side all the products that we're featuring in the broadcast. You don't actually have to leave the broadcast. You can buy right within the broadcast. Add to cart, ask questions. Hopefully you ask lots of questions. The more interactive this gets, the funner it is for us. The more everybody gets to learn about our boards.
Yes, we do it live for you so that you can comment, you can ask anything, and we can be like.
And see all the technical difficulties. Because if you have been with us since the beginning, no one could hear us. We don't know what we're doing. That's all good.
That's all right. Do make sick, sweet
Yeah.
stuff. So,
Yeah.
so can we talk about it? Or are we still on PSTN?
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about
Let's
it.
talk about it. You take it away. This is your baby. Mandy does all of the artist research, all of it, on her own. And she says things to me like, "What do you think about this color?" And I say, "Look, I like color."
You know what? I found Edward Bolioli, who makes. Oh, hold on. I can't even. It's too bright. It's too bright.
It doesn't do it justice. I can see it on the screen. It doesn't do it justice. When we opened this painting, I went from 20/20 vision to whatever worse than 20/20 vision is. I don't know how the numbers were.
Whatever I've got.
Yeah. Yeah, it was so bright. It was like welder's flash.
Yes. Now I just want Annabelle to pull up who this amazing artist is. Edward Bolioli. Before they pop back in. It is really cool to see. So these little dudes are called a lolo, or flying fish.
Yep. Flying fish. So true to Sea Gods, as many people who have been following us for a number of years now. Some of you are new, and that's cool too. Um, what a lot of people don't realize, though, still, is we don't just put graphics on our boards. A lot of the artwork you see are really just duplicates of an original piece. So we've commissioned this piece from Eduardo, and this is an actual painting that you're seeing right now. This is the process that he goes through when he makes the boards. He made a bunch of footage for us, which is really super cool.
Yeah.
But it doesn't do it justice quite on screen. You have to really see it in real life, which is going to be on this amazing board. And this is a painting, which is
So
so,
cool.
it's so hard to get that point across because it looks so surreal. The shadowing on the fish, the gradient is just like the whole canvas was painted in this gradient. And then Posca pens is what he uses to make the banana leaf, which is in bright blue here, which is a crazy contrast, and then the logos as well.
Just like a little FYI, Eduardo Volioli was the first dude to start painting on surfboards with Posca pen. So this is like an OG piece that he actually like created this process. If you're into like surf art world, you're gonna know his name. That it's kind of a big deal. He's super cool.
Yeah, let's bring up the we've got our little secondary camera down here, which you just get a little bit of a closer look at what this looks like here. So this is the real thing. I'm gonna try and pan slow so it looks cool, but the color here is just, it's unbelievable.
What these
You can
blue
see his
lines
signature
are,
down there, and
Yeah.
so his signature is on this board as well. Because it is a print. It's not just like a graphic, and like all the boards we make, they're exclusive prints. We only make so many, and when once we're done, they're gone. So
So can we talk about the blue lines? If you haven't figured out what the blue lines are, they're banana leaves. So it's got this like truly tropical vibe to it. You know, the name of the piece from Eduardo is The Flyer. But I was like, the flyer, it's good. That's what the fish are doing. That's what you're gonna feel like on this board. You're gonna feel this board is meant to be stable, to give you that peace, to give you super efficiency, and you're gonna feel like you're flying out there. But I was like, where's there? It's gotta be like more tropical, you know, because that's the vibe. That's where you're gonna use it. So we named it
go for it.
the Soul Flyer.
That's right. This board is called the Soul Flyer. SOL.
It's just
Flyer.
like hits you right
Yeah.
here. It's like your soul, because really it's all about being out there and finding your sanctuary. But also, soul is like the Latin spelling for.
You're getting emotional. I can see it in your eyes.
No, I just need my eye surgery done. It's all good. I do get emotional, but I blame it on that. It's like the name of the sun, but also what I like to do after I get off my board and I'm hanging out on the beach. I love to drink a soul.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
beer,
The Apre.
cerveza,
The Apre, California.
apre.
So let's talk a little bit about this pre-order. So that is the artwork. I think Annabelle maybe has some pictures we can pull up there. If you go into the product folder, you can bring up the rendering
Of the board
of
shape.
the board shape. This is a new board shape for us that we're going to see in a minute here. And it takes a little bit of inspiration from the Elemental Wave, a little bit. It's an all-around shape that takes some inspiration from like a traditional longboard. So there's a little bit different lines than you'd see in a typical all-around board.
It is a hybrid, and this is going to be a new shape, not just for Sea Gods, but like for the industry. So you will never see anyone else with a board shape like this.
Yeah, and so it's meant to take an all-around board. You get the stability, but it's a little bit more efficient. And it's a really cool, well-performing board. It's maneuverable, it tracks well, and it's just going to be a lot of fun. So that is what the board is about. Annabelle's almost got a picture out there for you, but I want to talk about pre-order. A lot of people ask us about pre-orders. What is a pre-order? How does it work? Stuff like that. And I'll start with talking about last year. We did pre-orders. We started actually in October last year. And our pre-orders for our first run of boards were almost completely sold out by the end of January. And so
Before they arrived, that container was sold.
So we like to do pre-orders so that folks have a chance. They don't have to wait in line when the boards actually arrive from manufacturing. They can pre-order now. It guarantees you that you're going to have an amazing board for the spring, and spring is some of the best paddling. You get amazing sunsets, you get amazing sunrises. The seasons are starting to change. It's some of my favorite paddling. So that's what the pre-order is. And because you have to have some patience, which we very much appreciate, we sell it for a major discount. So you can't pre-order with the BFCM 35, but this board is going to be listed at around $1,500 when they arrive. And so you'll see it listed right now on our website. It's $1,449. You can enter pre-order 25 at checkout, get 25% off. It brings the board down to just over $1,000 Canadian. Works out to $790 US.
So people want to know, when do I pay and when do I get it? And so you have to actually pay and make your order to get, that board when it arrives has your name on it. It's for you. And you're not going to miss out on that first shipment coming in and then have to wait till March. So the first shipment comes in January or February. And I don't know if you get this from us, we're never really in a rush. We want our manufacturing
I wouldn't
to
say
be,
that.
well, but we don't rush it.
We just
to
can't
get them
guarantee.
out.
We just can't
We
guarantee
want
when
them
the
made good.
we just can't guarantee when the run is fully completed.
Yeah.
We'll do a lot better than Tesla with the Cybertruck. If you're spending $1,000 on a pre-order, if we're not going to say you're getting it anywhere between now and 7 years from now.
No, it's gonna be like January,
Yeah,
February.
you're definitely getting it before spring.
Yeah.
So,
But what I mean is when our craftsmen are making it, we're not rushing them.
Yeah.
Our quality team is there making sure that these boards are made perfectly, as perfect as people can make them. So, it's going to be something that Eduardo and us are really stoked on and proud of, and nothing is going to be rushed. It's going to be made amazing, up to standard, which is super high. And you say order it, and then you move to another country or something, and you're like, ooh, actually can't get that board. No problem. Anytime before it's shipped, we can do full refund. So don't be worried to put your name down on the list like that by making your order. And then I do a lot of communication with pre-orders. You're going to be in the know. Every time I get an update, you're going to get an update. So don't worry on that.
Question from Mike: how much are the boards in US prices?
Oh, Mike, no problem. If you're using your pre-order 25, it's going to be $787 US.
and right now, this pre-order is only live on seaguns.ca, so there's going to be a little bit of a conversion rate. It changes every couple minutes. But that's pretty much what it works out to be. The prices on our Canadian site are set in Canadian dollars, which is with the pre-order price, $10.87 Canadian. If you don't already know, we ship for free in North America, so you don't have to worry about shipping. And then as we get closer to the date when these bad boys are actually going to arrive, we follow up with everyone, make sure that we have the correct address still. Sometimes people move, sometimes people are on vacation, things
Plus,
like that.
We're getting some super exciting new accessories.
That's right.
And so we'll give you an opportunity to pop those in the box so you get them all in one. So don't worry, we'll keep you totally posted and in the know on all the new stuff coming out. You're not going to miss out.
Mm-hmm.
But can we talk about the shape now? Annabelle got the
Yeah, it was already up there.
picture. Yeah. So look at the shape of this board, how early all around. That makes it really easy to turn. And why do you care if it's easy to turn? Because when I'm riding my board, looking down and seeing all the cool stuff in the water, and I want it to be super easy to flip around and follow whatever wildlife I see under there. Maybe you're in Florida, you're checking out those manatees, maybe out in La Paz checking out the whale sharks, maybe you're out here, it's flounders and salmon. But always something cool to see. So you want it really maneuverable. And if you look at it gets wider. That's where the extra stability comes from. That's where it's 33 inches wide. This is gonna give you you're busy looking down, a little wave hits you from the side, you're gonna be all right. You're gonna stay on there and feel. And then the length of it is 11 feet. So my favorite board is the Elemental Wave. It's 10.5 by 32. Compared to this board, the Soul Flyer is going to give you more efficiency and more stability. But compared to the Diatom all around, you're going to have more efficiency. It's slightly less wide and it's longer. So this is where the long board comes in.
Yeah, and one other difference that you may not notice, but that is definitely there, is you'll see at the widest part of this board, typically an all-around board, like a traditional all-around board, will carry its maximum width for a little bit longer. This one has a little bit more aggressive taper at the back. So that gives the board a little bit better release when you're trying to paddle through some choppy waves, and it also gives it a little bit better tracking because of how that water releases off the back of the board, which just comes into the efficiency of the overall board. So it's a longer board, it's a wider board, but it's going to be a more efficient board than what you would typically see in an all-around board. So it's kind of a cool mix between an all-around board and sort of like this long board kind of style. It's a really, really fun board, so we're really excited about this one.
Yeah. Now compared to the Elemental Wave Diatom ULF versus CX, let's address that. Materials it's going to be made of.
Yes. This is going to be a CX board. The reason why we use CX, you get a phenomenal amount of more rigidity. Most riders actually wouldn't notice, but it's still rated for 20 PSI. And it's going to be nice and light. This board is about 20.5 pounds. So super duper light, but we also got some other cool stuff that we're doing, which is brand new.
Can you show the inbox?
Yeah, so this is just a
I'm
sample.
going to come right up.
This is just a sample of the fin box. So we've actually had this sitting on my desk for just about 2 years now, trying to get it just perfect. And so this year we're releasing some boards that have the split fin box. And so this is the same manufacturer of our regular fin box, which is Air 7, which is kind of the gold standard for inflatable fin boxes. And there's a lot of imitations out there, but there's only one company that makes Air 7. And the reason for the split fin box is for those of us who have already had inflatable boards, the hardest part about rolling it up is lining up that fin box at the very end for that last roll. And if you don't have it right, sometimes that fin box ends up right on the fold and it just becomes a big pain in the butt. And so
It's easier if it's on the
yeah,
board.
and so having a split fin box makes it so the fin box can fold in half. It holds that fin just as well as a regular fin box does, but the fin box now folds. So you don't have to worry about having that perfect fold as much. It just makes your pack up just a little bit easier, and then it's actually ends up being a little bit more durable when it's in transportation, because now you don't have a long, rigid piece of your board that's just kind of in there, bouncing around. The folding up fin box makes it way easier to fold, makes it better for transport, and it's just as good for holding your fin. Super cool stuff. Super cool stuff. What else is new? What else
We're
is new?
going
Oh,
to
I'm standing
this
in front of it.
fin, even though it's an all-around board, this is a fin that's going to come with it because we want you to feel the efficiency and the stability. So you're going to get the big guy with this Soul Flyer.
And then the other thing that we've changed this year is our pump. So when we started Sea Gods, we started with Bravo as a pump manufacturer because we feel like they make the best manual pumps. We've always felt that way. And
But
so,
we're always looking for what is new, what's better, trying new things. I've probably tried 20 pumps.
yeah, in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
Yep, and so Bravo has just come out with a pump. It's called the Double Max, and so this is the Double Max. It looks similar to the pump that we used in the past, but it's actually significantly lighter.
Which
And
is why I never wanted to travel so much with a big pump. But this one solves all the problems.
yep, and so a couple improvements. You have two chambers here, just like you may have seen before with our old 2-chamber pump. It's got 3 stages, so you can inflate it, on various levels of pressure. But one of the chambers is actually smaller, which makes it at the higher pressure. It's like way easier. And I've fallen out of shape a little bit.
Oh,
But
okay.
this pump, I think I was like 3 minutes and like 27 seconds or something like that. We timed it to get a pump up to 16 PSI. Well, that's not too bad. And
I'm
It
not in a
wasn't-
rush.
it wasn't that
It
hard.
takes me a few more minutes because I'm just like not in a rush.
Yeah, so Bravo makes this pump. Bravo's an Italian company. They made our valves ever since we started. The valves and this pump are rated for 29 psi, even though ours are rated for 20. But it just kind of gives you that extra oomph. So you don't have to worry about parts falling apart at higher pressures because it's actually rated for significantly higher pressures than our cores are rated for. Another little nice addition is that it has these handles. Our old pump they screw up as well, but also the foot pads they fold up, so it just makes it a little bit easier to pack away.
I love traveling with my board. Like anytime we're hitting an airplane, I'm bringing my board. And so this just makes it super duper easy to fit. Ryan's talking about weight. I cram everything in my bag and I check it without paying extra. And so having the handles come off just gives me that much extra room for like my curling iron and all the other stuff I want to put in there.
Yep, and then the last cool thing that probably goes largely unnoticed, but not by me, and we talked about this a couple broadcasts ago about maintenance. This pump actually has a proper maintenance routine, and it's printed right on the pump. And a lot of pumps are hard to take apart. This is just 6 screws on each chamber. You can just put a little bit of grease in there, and you're done. Your pump will last for way longer if you're greasing it like once a season. Just a little bit of silicone grease around the rings in there, and you never have to worry. Yep.
When we started Sea Gods, I never thought that I would be up until 2 in the morning researching different silicone grease and getting samples of it. But that's my life because I want to make it really easy for you to keep your gear working perfectly for years and years. So that's going to be part of our new kit with the Soulflyer is a little bit of silicone grease so that you can keep everything working as smooth as this board is going to fly.
Yep. What do they say? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound here, or something like that.
What's that in metric?
Metric? Oh, geez. It depends on what you're talking about here. I don't know what it is. What's a pound? What's a pound in volume? How do you make that into a volume? I don't know. Half a kilogram.
All right. Do we have any questions about this sick new board? Because I am really excited. We're heading down to Baja, and I think I might get one of our first samples shipped way down there because I just can't wait to ride it and see it on those beautiful waters. But I can never choose. Do I want this board or that board? Sometimes it's nice to have options, right?
Mhm.
So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Baja a little bit. For those that watch us all the time, I don't know who that is. If there's anybody out there that is like, I need to watch Random Andy talk about boards.
Hi, Dad.
Yeah. So this morning, this particular show, we're trying a couple different times to see which times work best for everybody. We're actually going to be going live again today at 4 o'clock, which is basically 5 hours, 4.5 hours. And but what we are doing is we're calling it the Baja Roadshow. Sort of, that's the name. We'll work on it.
Yeah.
But December 1st, we're taking Sea Gods van. Actually, we did the same trip last year, taking our kids, and we're heading down to Baja from White Rock, so 4,500 kilometer drive. And we camp on the beaches and stuff like that, homeschool kids, paddleboard lots of places. But we're also going to be taking everyone with us through the use of Stage 10, this app that you're watching us on now. So we're still going to be going live.
What's some of the stuff you saw down there that was so cool?
I never thought I would get bored of stingrays, but they're everywhere. Every single beach, you just walking around. The first beach was oh my gosh, look at all these stingrays. Second beach was man, there's a lot of stingrays. By the 30th beach, you're what's with all these stingrays? It's everywhere.
You and Woodrow were out there, and that huge old turtle came up to say hi.
Oh yeah, the sea turtle. But the most amazing, we don't have a picture of it. It's somewhere. It would take forever to find. But we were getting ready just for our day. I think we were having yogurt for breakfast or something like that. Playa Armenta, and 150 dolphins came really close to the shore. And so Mandy hopped on the paddleboard and brought Camille, our daughter. She was 8 at the time.
We've got the
And they went out
boards
there.
literally ready to go out on the beach just in case, right?
Yeah.
And this is when it was just in case. You got to get out there right now.
Yeah, and so paddleboarding with the dolphins, that was pretty amazing. But they sure are awesome to paddleboard with.
We've got a question from Greg online, and he says, "Why did you choose this pattern for this board?"
Hey, what's up, Greg? Why did we choose this pattern for this board? You know, I love the elemental wave so much, and sometimes, like when I was in Australia and I was doing like, I don't know, I was out for like 5 hours, and I'm like, going out there and coming back was so fun, but if my board was slightly more efficient, I could have done it in 4 hours instead of 5. So
Or you could have explored further in 5 hours.
exactly, yeah. And so that's what we wanted to make, was an all-around board somewhere, giving a little more efficiency and a little bit more stability. The elemental wave is amazing all-around board. The diatom is all-around stable. We just needed something in between. So that's what inspired this shape, was going a little further, but keeping that maneuverability. And with Eduardo, why did we choose him? I wanted this feel of like tropical, I guess, is what I wanted. I wanted a longboard feel, and why not go to a surf artist? And I mean, how could you say no to this? So that was kind of the mashup there. And I wanted that tropical vibe, tropical feel. When you're out and you're somewhere really beautiful and you want to snap a photo and you want to share it, Eduardo's got it nailed, where if you can see that board and it's bright and it's beautiful, it just draws the eyes and takes that feeling like one step further. Did I get it?
I think so. I think
I could talk about it all day.
Yeah, I think with art, it's sort of the why. It's sort of a difficult question to tackle a little bit, because art is really completely subjective. And when we start looking for artists, we spend a ton of time on social media, just on the internet itself, just looking for artwork that we honestly love. That's what we do. And when we find artwork that we love, we'll reach out and see if the artists are interested in working with us. And it's like kind of a very sort of open and like creative process that we go through to make the designs that the artists do. They have a lot of freedom to make the designs that they make. And we really just choose it based on whether or not we fall in love with their portfolio. And then a lot of times the art comes first. Well, we choose the board shape first, I guess. But
yeah, it's a board shape, and then it's like the feeling. It's like, what feeling do we want the rider to have on this board? And then we choose the art to match it. Because sometimes people come and they're not sure, like, what board is best for me. And we want the whole experience to be a no-brainer. We don't want you to doubt. Like, on the aggressive boards, there's aggressive artwork. And on the boards that are good for like riding the waves, we've got like the Hawaiian flowing artwork. And so we try and match it up. Like the feeling has to be really congruent.
yeah, and with this one, like the second the concept started coming in, it was kind of like, I'm going to paddle into some sunsets with this thing.
Yeah.
And that's where Soul Flyer came from. Flyer was actually the name of the piece from Eduardo, and we just added soul on there because,
I wanted to hit that tropical vibe. It's like the tequila sunset.
It's a little bit
right?
ambiguous too, right? Soul means sun, but also, art kind of speaks to your soul a little bit. So
There's another question from Mike, and he said, "Is the deck pad pattern printed or die cut, and is there a kick pad?"
Oh, Mike, yes, we are so excited. We forgot to mention this.
Almost forgot about it.
Yes. So this is like another thing that our manufacturers were like, really, Mandy? Really?
Really what we're really making us do this. Yep,
Yes.
we are.
It's not printed. This is going to be cut. So it's going to have the black layer with a crocodile skin on top, and underneath is the gradient of color. And as they cut the grooves, that's going to expose
So it's
the
actually-
banana leaf color.
To answer your question, it's actually not die cut. So like traditionally our pads, they're die cut shapes put together by hand.
Yes.
This is actually 2 thin layers of EVA pad. The bottom layer has a gradient that matches this, the top layer is black, and then we use a CNC machine to cut the pattern into it, so you have black on top, and then you'll see the gradient of the pad underneath, and it'll be like a 1/8 of an inch depth.
You can pull it up, Annabelle, the picture of the pad again. I think that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yes. So
So-
what the cutting is not a new process, because that's what we actually use to get the diamond groove that's on all of the boards that we have so far, besides the Diatom ULF, which is printed, but the the CNC has previously cut for us a diamond groove, but this time it's going to cut it in the banana leaf shape.
Yeah, so if you look closely at that pad there, all the gradient lines that you can see, that's actually banana leaf shapes that Eduardo made for us. And so that pad's gonna go through a CNC machine, the black's gonna be on top. It's gonna cut all those banana leaf lines in there, so it's gonna give it a really cool look, and it's gonna give it like a depth like you've probably never seen on an EVA pad before. And so it'll have the crocodile or alligator skin texture on the black, which will give you a little bit of grip. But then you'll also have the CNC cut shape into it, which will provide a little bit of additional sort of grippiness to it, similar to what you see with like a diamond shape.
So a little bit of personal history here. I've had some foot problems, which is weird for someone who's standing at paddleboards all day. And so I'm really sensitive in my feet. I don't like walking on pebbles or anything. So it's important to me that this pad is soft and grippy, but I've ridden some boards that have almost like a teak decking, and I hate the way that feels on my feet. I don't like those deep grooves. So this pad is only going to be thin enough to feel super comfortable on your feet, but also give great grip. So, I mean, we say it's thoughtfully designed because I'm really picky.
Yeah.
And I have the ability here to like make sure that it is how I love it, because I know that's how you're gonna love it.
I think that's it. We're just about out of time here.
Is there anything else, Annabelle?
We've got 2 more questions. So next is James. He says, will the fin box be green or black, like the one you showed?
Great
Yes,
question. It's green.
So James asks, is the fin box gonna be green or black? So definitely green. This is just our
We're
sample.
on camera now.
Oh, I'm not.
That's good. It's on camera.
Yeah, you're still there. You're still there.
Okay, so this black fin box is just our sample, but it's definitely going to match our signature lime green because it's super cool. Yeah.
If anyone's ever curious why the lime green, I like telling this story. If you've ever seen like, there's a bunch of them around White Rock, but like the Porsche Panamera, it's like a 4-door Porsche. There's like a bunch of white ones around here. You see them all the time, but their brake pads are always like fluorescent yellow or like fluorescent blue, or like someone's like custom painting brake pads around here, I guess, or brake shoes, calipers, whatever you want to call them. But it always stuck out to me, and when we were designing boards 2 years ago, we're like,
Well, we had the
just the
problem.
black fin boxes were just like
But
sort
also-
of blah.
No, people were losing their fins, and I'm like, how are you losing
It
your
has nothing to
fin?
do with the
They're
green
just-
color though.
Well, I
It's the
think
story
it
we're telling.
was
Just taking it over.
It was full. We
Anyway.
had a problem. People were leaving their fin. And
People
then-
don't realize we like to ramble. To answer your question, it's going to be green.
Yeah. One more question.
Just from Mike, he said it's going to look so awesome. Everyone's really excited about the new board.
Oh, thanks, Mike, so much. It's gonna look so awesome. I
It is gonna
totally
look awesome.
agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's going to look super awesome. All right, guys. Well, that's our show for today. Well, not technically for today. For now, we're going to be live again at 4 o'clock. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out, info@seagods.ca. You can hit us up on the chat on our website. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining, and don't forget, check us out. Come December, we're going to be in Baja, touring beaches, and talking
Paddleboarding with whale sharks.
paddleboards. Yep.
Yeah.
So, okay, guys, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers.